What is up YouTube? Troken here. Welcome back to Drawface, and in today's video we're going to go over how to upgrade your Jynx structure deck. We're about like 2 weeks now away from Riftbound's release, which is like really exciting stuff, and these structure decks are an amazing way to get started with the games. However, you want to start entering those local tournaments and start winning those prize packs. We need to go over what we need to take out, what do we need to put in to make it a little more competitive. But before we get into the video, if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you're looking for Riftbound deck lists, live streams, news, updated tournament stuff, this is the channel for you. So, hitting that button really does help me out, and I greatly appreciate your support. So going straight into the video, let's go over the structure deck list. So, we are obviously, it is a Jynx deck, so it's going to be running Jynx Loose Cannon. Now, the one important thing to consider about this deck, it is like a discard deck, right? Initially, Jynx was considered as aggro. In my opinion, the better Jynx is like the Rebel Jynx build, where it's more mid-rangey. However, that deck is just like way too expensive, and even the aggro deck has some epic cards in it. So I just wanted to keep it as budget-friendly as possible. And I decided to go for like a really good like aggro deck list in which you just have to get to 6 points by being super aggressive, discarding and everything. And then just with a quick little combo, like taking those last 2 points. I think that's the best way to get into Riftbound with like more simple decks, especially aggro. Aggro is actually kind of hard when it comes to Riftbound, right? Because usually decks like are generally more mid-range, if not control-y. So by the mid to late game, big units are dropping down, and then aggro decks just really like keep up. They just ran out of gas. But there is like a really cool like big combo that is like hard to beat, or hard to get over for your opponent. So we're just racing to 6 points is like the theme of the deck, of the upgraded deck, and then just with a combo, just trying to score those last 2 points. So going to the deck list, right? Obviously, like I said before, Jynx Loose Cannon. The rune split will be 6 and 6, 6 of Fury and 6 of Chaos. The battlefields are Zaun Warren's, Targon's Peak, and Reaver's Row. Going into the main deck, we have 1 Jynx, Demolitionist. Yep, that is the red Jynx. 3 Gusts, 2 Exciteds, 3 Scrap Heaps, 3 Traveling Merchants, 1 Vi, 3 Fighter Flights, 3 Chemtech Enforcers, 2 Cemetery Attendants, 2 Void Seekers, 3 Flame Chompers, 3 Raging Souls, 2 Fading Memories, 2 Blazing Scorchers, 2 Undercover Agents, 3 Brazen Buccaneers, 1 Magma Worm, and 1 Rasa the Sunderer. So, it's like supposed to be like more of like a mid-rangey deck, but it's just not cohesive, right? So we need to change it up. We need to switch it up to make it like super aggro with a cool like game-winning combo, right? So what we're going to take out is actually quite a lot. So bear with me on this one, guys. The battlefields are good with Zaun Warren's and Reaver's Row. We will be taking out Targon's Peak, right? Going into the main deck, we are going to be taking out the 2 Get Exciteds. We're going to be taking out 3 Scrap Heaps. We are going to be taking out 3 Fighter Flights. We're going to be taking out also the 2 Cemetery Attendants. Along with that, we're going to be popping out the Void Seekers, 2 of those. The Flame Chompers will stay. Actually, I'm sorry, I misread. We're going to be taking out the 3 Raging Souls, the 2 Fading Memories, the 2 Blazing Scorchers, the 2 Undercover Agents, the 3 Brazen Buccaneers, the 1 Magma Worm, and the 1 Rasa. Yeah, so, I mean, dude, like Jynx, you can play it different ways. It's just, if we want to utilize the colors, it's like more an aggro build. But yeah, that is a lot of stuff being taken away. And you're thinking like, okay, so how much stuff are we going to be putting in? Actually, because of the deck list, it has a lot of 1-ofs or 2-ofs and everything. We're actually not going to be putting in that much. However, the rarity of the cards, unfortunately, will be having to be with some epics just because I believe we absolutely need it. And I'll go over that in a second. So switching over to the upgraded version of the deck, we will be, for the first time, switching around our runes. So you will either have to borrow runes for somebody, and or each pack comes with a rune, so you should be generally okay, right? If you've bought the Proving Grounds box set, you have all the runes you need, so you can grab from there. But we're going to be switching to 8 Fury runes and 4 Chaos runes. The one battlefield that we're going to be switching is the Candlelit Sanctum. On top of that, this deck, like I said before, is going to be super, super aggressive. We're going to be racing into trying to get 6 points as fast as possible. Just, beating down our opponent, doing all the tricks, putting as much might onto the battlefields as possible by the chance that they take back the battlefields because it's probably mid-game at that point and they start popping off with their bigger units. We have one cool combo that we can take care of their big units. It's just... I think this is just one of the better ways to play Jynx if it's like in an aggro list. So what we're going to be adding on to the deck, I already talked about the Candlelit Sanctum. Of course, the Jynx will stay as Demolitionist because it's actually really good. It's actually a really decent card, right? The Assault 2, the Accelerate, everything is just very responsive. It can get over a lot of big dudes, or it could 1-for-1 a lot of 6 might units. Unfortunately, we're going to be needing 3 Seal of Rages. We'll get into that in a second. Yes, it is an epic card, unfortunately, but, I just feel like playing a lot of Jynx that I have, especially like with my good friend Oni the Shadow, there is like situations where you're just running short. You're recycling a lot of runes for some reason because of one specific card. And you just need that extra rune mitigation with the seals. They really do help. It is worth it. I'm not assuming they're going to be super, super expensive, probably like $1 or $2, if that, I feel like they're going to be a lot of them floating around. So by all means, if you have 3 Seals of Rages, please put them into the deck. On top of that, we're going to be adding 3 stack decks. Dude, honestly, the best purple card in the game, in my opinion. It's just so ridiculous. Especially in an aggro deck, you have your hand, right? And you need to get all the pieces of what like the combo, and just like if there's something lacking, if you're lacking units, you can grab units. If you're lacking spells, you can grab spells. Just the fact that you can look at the top 3 cards, you could pick one, recycle the rest, is just so strong, especially for an aggro deck. So and it is a uncommon, so it's not that hard to grab. It shouldn't be that expensive, maybe a couple cents. So definitely put those in. In fact, if you're running the color purple, you should just always have stack decks if you're playing any type of purple colored legend. So on top of that, we're going to be adding now 3 Ride the Winds. Now, Ride the Wind is a common card, so nothing to worry about there. There should be plenty of them floating around. Trading is a thing. If not, you can individually buy the cards that I'm suggesting here. Should only be a couple bucks. So not too bad. Basically, we're keeping the Traveling Merchant as it is. The Vi, we're also adding 2 because I want to briefly mention that this is the big combo, right? With our smaller units, we're going to be moving into the battlefields. We're going to be stacking power onto it by just playing the units onto the battlefields, right? And then if by any chance that your opponent is taking away those conquered battlefields, then you are going to be using Vi's ability to recycle the cards, increasing her might, and riding the wind, in which she is ganking, so she can just clear both battlefields with plus 14 or 15 might. You should be okay. Yes, there are some tricks that your opponents can do depending on their colors. They can also rebuke you, pop you back into your hand because it is reaction speed, but for the most part, that is the game plan. We're just going to be super aggressive, stacking things onto the battlefields with our cheaper units that can legion well, that can accelerate well, that become cheaper even with Nocturne. Cheaper units with Traveling Merchant, Mystic Poro. Stack deck looking for a Nocturne also puts that onto a conquered battlefield. Just being super aggressive, putting as much might onto the battlefields as possible, and then as a fail-safe Ride the Wind combo to conquer the last 2 points. And yeah, that's the game plan. That is the aggressive game plan. So very important that we have 3 Vi's and 3 Ride the Winds. What else is going into the deck? Legion Rearguard, 3 of those. A 2-for-2 that can accelerate, right? If you need to cheat out or need to grab a quick point or 2. either early or late game. By all means, it is just like a really solid card. Also, combos really well with Noxus Hopeful, which we'll also be putting into the deck. So definitely put 3 of those because of its Legion ability. It gets really cheap very fast. So you can play a Legion Rearguard with 4 runes, and then you can play another Noxus Hopeful, and then you develop 6 might with only 4 runes in 1 turn. Split between 2 units. So that's like really, really good. So, just being super aggressive, that is the game plan. On top of that, 3 Mystic Poros. The vision is really good because it just kind of works well with Nocturne. The chances of that happening are really low, but you do need like I said, like super aggressive early game units, and also if there's a card on top of the deck when you use its vision ability that you don't need, then recycle it, and then you don't have to worry about that for a while. On top of that, the Chemtech Enforcers will be from 3 to 3. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's fine. So leave the Chemtech Enforcers like they are. The Flame Chompers we are leaving as well. I said add the Noxus Hopefuls. Now going into the tail end of the deck, unfortunately, guys, we don't get the Super Mega Death Rocket in the Jynx structure deck. This is her signature card. It's the best spell for her. It is really good because it just keep on popping back to your hand. This makes the deck list like kind of like the more expensive in terms of rarity, because we do need 6 epics, 3 super mega death rockets, and 3 seal of rages. It's just really unfortunate. Like I really tried to push it away, but honestly, like the super mega death rocket is such a good spell, especially for Jynx. I mean, it can only be used for Jynx, but I mean the fact that it coincides with discarding and conquering, being super aggressive, yeah, and the fact that it can do 5 damage. It does get hit by Defy. However, the reason we were running those seals is because of the super mega death rocket. You're going to be using this over and over and over again, and you want to mitigate that recycling that 1 rune by using the seals. So it's really helpful, and that's pretty much like a big reason why we have the seals in there. So they're basically just to kind of like pull off the combo, and also remember with the legend ability we'll be drawing 2 cards when our hand gets short, so discarding is not a problem. And the Death Rocket is just a must-have in this aggro Jynx discard deck. Like it just needs to be there. On top of that, we are running 3 Nocturnes. Easy to cheap out. Initially, my thought was, wow, this combo is really cool. And then I played the game and I was like, wow, it never happens to me. So I thought it sucked. But now, I think it's really good because, I was able to pop off some Nocturnes the last time I played a Jynx deck. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, definitely. It is good. It does sit in your hand if you do draw it, unfortunately. However, it's just one of those risk-reward things. It does have ganking, so it is really relevant. You could play onto a battlefield if it is in your hand, but obviously we're going to be using the Mystic Poros for vision to, if you see it on the top of the deck, it is just automatic played. And of course, the stack decks, we've been playing them as much as possible. If you stack deck into stack deck, always pick the stack deck because you're just going to go through your deck faster. You're going to be popping off those Nocturnes a little faster as well. And yeah, it's just really good with the way this deck works. And of course, like I said, the combo at the end is the Vi and Ride the Wind. Guys, listen, this is not the easiest deck to navigate. Sorry, not navigate. To construct because of the epics, right? I'm really sorry about that, guys. I tried really hard not to make some like an aggro deck that didn't have any epics, but like it just needs it there. You can technically like not run the Seal of Rages, and you could put back in maybe the Void Seekers and or the Get Exciteds, or a mixture of the two, right? Maybe 2 Get Exciteds and 1 Void Seeker. But honestly, like I just think this is more concisive. It's just like a little more tempo oriented, a little more aggressive. So basically, you're just getting what you need, getting those points early, and comboing in with Vi and Ride the Wind. And yeah. So it's like, honestly, like competitively, Jynx is like really hard right now. It's in a tough spot. It just doesn't have enough discard. However, like if you really do just be like super aggressive and you're punishing your opponent with the might on board. You're gusting when you need to, so that they don't have any units on their side, and you're utilizing Super Mega Death Rocket to kind of like pick off their units one by one. Then you can definitely get there. And also with the Vi and Ride the Wind combo is just like really ridiculously like overpowered. And yeah, like I really like Jynx. I'm a supporter of Jynx. I hope it gets there eventually. Maybe one of you guys are gonna build like the best Jynx deck ever. However, I just feel like this build is probably really good for your local tournaments, just because it's just like super aggressive, and it's just like a lot of fun to play. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate your support. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more things Riftbound. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.